Hi, welcome back. This is Chukudum from the Sale Farms. Today we're going to be talking about processing your broilers. Again, like everything else in the broiler business, there are do's and don'ts, and there are things you can do to improve the process. And so the first thing you want to find out is what is processing. Processing is a system of complex steps to convert the live bird into ready-to-cook product, either as a whole bird or cut up into pieces. So the process from which you take your bird from your pen and all the processes of killing it and so on and so forth, go through process, and then freezing it or storing it for sale or for consumption. That entire line of activities is processing. What are the various steps in processing? The first thing you do is feed withdrawal. Typically, you want to withdraw feed from them as much as 8 hours before processing. First of all, anything that you give them after 4 hours is waste of feed. So really, to be on the safe side, to avoid wastage, withdraw their feed 8 hours before you process them. So if you want to start processing 6 o'clock in the following morning, deprive them of food from 6 o'clock in the evening the previous day. The second you have to do is to know the process through which you're going to catch the birds, because obviously they're live, they're moving around, so you have to catch them. The third step is slaughtering of the birds. So depending on the method you use, different people use different methods to slaughter. The fourth one is hanging of the bird to bleed. It's best to use killing cones, like the picture of here. Because if you use the killing cones and hang them upside, they tend to bleed better, and they're restrained and they bleed very well. The fourth thing, or actually the fifth thing, is hot water. You have to have a means of, after the bleeding, putting the birds in hot water. The sixth thing is defeathering. Now you can defeather by using your hand or using the defeathering machine like the one here. Now, the defeathering machine does an excellent job because it removes even the tiny hairs in the bird, and it's very quick. You can do 5 birds in less than 1 minute. So if you're going to do a lot of birds, the defeathering machine is the way to go. The other one is the evisceration, which is removal of the intestine, head and legs, liver and gizzard. That's a next step. And then the 8th step is inspecting, making sure all the feathers have been removed, it's been washed well, a lot of things, done all the things you have to do. The 9th is chilling. I always suggest you put your birds, after you process them, in cold water, water with ice block, because the chicken, when it's killed, has a lot of heat. If you put it in your freezer without putting in the ice block or put it in a cold room, it might overwhelm, especially your freezer. It might overwhelm your freezer. So it's always a good idea to put it in ice water so that the temperature comes, it comes down before you do anything else with it. Of course, the next one is grading, the sizes of chicken, depending on how you want to market it or what you want to use it for. The other one is packing. Now, some people, if you have a cold room, you want to put it in nylon so that you put in the cold room. But if you don't have a nylon and using freezer, it gets very tricky. Because the freezer is not as powerful as the cold room. I would suggest not put your chicken in nylons before you put in the freezer. The other thing about the freezer is that I suggest you do not just throw chicken in the freezers. This is where it gets very delicate. If you have a freezer and you pack it all with chicken, half of them will spoil because the ones in the middle are not going to get any cold. I have a tool that I devised when I didn't have a cold room that I use in my freezers, and I have it in this video showing you how to use it. It's basically a set of shelves you build and you put chicken inside them, and the air circulates. You don't have as much chicken as normal, but the ones you have will be preserved very well. Then after the chicken blocks, now you can remove the shelf and have more chicken in, and you can put the nylon then. One of the issues that always comes up, people say, well, I want to save some money by processing the chicken themselves. I'll tell every farmer, unless you're an expert at processing chicken, do not do it. Hire the people who do processing. The 50 naira to 100 naira they'll charge you, it's worth it. You can, because you're doing volume business, you can talk to them about giving you a bulk rate, because they know they'll be giving you chicken all the time. But I think trying to do it yourself may be penny wise, pound foolish. The other issue that comes up is people ask whether we use preservatives to preserve chicken in Nigeria. Well, we don't. I've never seen it, I've never heard of it. It might happen in other countries, I don't know. How well the chicken is preserved will depend on how well you processed and how well you're able to preserve it. So that's basically that when it comes to processing. Well, if you learned anything from this, subscribe. So when I have new videos, you get it. Share to other farmers so other people who have the information you have. Please comment. If there's anything that is not unclear to you, ask me any questions. I'll be able to answer that. Also, comment and tell me the other topics that is of interest to you that you'd like me to talk about in the future. Thank you.